Live from Boise, Idaho, this is Jeopardy! Here are today's contestants. A criminal justice major from Meridian, Idaho, Kenny Gonzalez Marr. An English major with an emphasis in interior design from Canada, Jennifer Brooks. And our returning champion, an elementary education major from Meridian, Idaho, Carrie Radko, whose one-day cash winnings total of $1,600. And now, here's the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Today on Jeopardy, you can win a trip to Athens, Greece. And you, Carrie, Jennifer, and Kenny could win a lot of money. Let's get you started. Here comes the Jeopardy round, one daily double in this round, and here are the categories. Don't take it outside, elementary, my dear Watson, designing the market, and crime and punishment. Jennifer, would you like to get us started?
I'll take Don't Take It Outside for 200.
The use of this element relates the Doryphorus spear-bearer statue by Greek artist Polykleitos to the career field of interior design. Jennifer.
What is the use of ratio? One of the principles of interior design is the use of ratios to balance a room's color scheme. A typical room will have a 60-30-10 ratio between three primary colors, 60% being the wall color and 10% being an accent color, found in throw pillows or accessories. The ancient Greeks were also known for using ratios in their statuary, just not in terms of color. The spear-bearer statue is one example and is considered to be one of the most mathematically perfect figures in terms of its radial proportions. It is made of 3 circles increasing in size, and the angles of the arms and head can be extended to create a perfect triangle. Thus, both interior design and Polykleitos' statue are examples of ratios in action.
Ratio, correct. Pick again.
I'll take Don't Take It Outside for 400, please.
With its numerous relief carvings, intricate detail, and varying propaganda scenes, this piece of Roman architecture is a perfect example of texture as it relates to interior design. Jennifer.
What is the Arch of Constantine?
Yes.
I'll take Crime and Punishment for 200.
This great piece of art, located in Giza, Egypt, and from the Old Kingdom era, is the Egyptian symbol for stability, order, and endurance, which relates it to criminal justice in this way.
That was easy.
Kenny?
What is the Great Sphinx? In criminal justice, we work hard to maintain order while retaining stability. We try to prepare for and endure the unknown future in order to maintain a civil society.
The Great Sphinx. You got it.
I'll take elementary, my dear Watson, for 600.
In this architectural structure of the late antiquity era, the people of Dura Europos used wall paintings to tell stories from scriptures, similar to a teacher asking her students to tell a story using just pictures, promoting creativity and creating a positive learning environment for the students. The structure itself also corresponds to a classroom in this fashion. Carrie.
What is the Dura Europos synagogue, which corresponds to a sense of community just like a classroom would for all its students?
Yes, and you are now on the board.
I'll take elementary, my dear Watson, for 200.
Located in the Valley of Queens, Egypt, from the Egyptian New Kingdom, is the Temple of Hatshepsut. These are the major ways that she is influential to those who are pursuing their degree as an elementary teacher. Carrie.
What are great leadership, management, communication, collaboration, and problem-solving skills, which are all required in order to be a successful elementary teacher? Throughout her reign as pharaoh, Hatshepsut showed great leadership and overcame stereotypical ideas about women. She is the first great female monarch whose name has been recorded. She commissioned numerous building projects and was a successful leader. Many of Hatshepsut's qualities should be seen in a teacher.
That is correct. Pick again.
I'll take designing the market for 200.
Graphic designers use iconography to identify brands in marketing. They can take a generic image and add a logo, and viewers will know who or what it is. Take an image of a phone, put a bitten apple on it, now it's an iPhone. If you have a shoe with a swoosh, it's a Nike. And if you see a man with an S on his chest, you know he's Superman. The artist Lysippos included these two icons in the statue Weary Hercules from the late classical period in Rome, Italy, to tell us that it is not just any muscular man. Beep, beep, beep. The correct answer is the lion's pelts and the club. Carrie, pick again.
I'll take crime and punishment for 400, Alex.
The stele of Hammurabi from the Babylonian time period and located in Susa, Iran, contains this, which relates to the field of criminal justice today.
That was easy.
Kenny.
What is the Code of Hammurabi, which was the first recorded set of laws? Today, many people in criminal justice field create new laws in the same way and try to maintain a good standard of living for the people in the community.
That is correct. And you have taken us to our first commercial break.
Photography, one of the most favored forms of arts today, dating as far back with the first ever recorded image being captured in 1827. However, being a photographer is not just aim and smile for the camera. For professionals or even those learning, there are guidelines on how to capture an image with proper balance that will look appealing to all. For that, the rule of thirds was created to help photographers achieve that proper balance by splitting the image into thirds, both horizontally and vertically. With that, you can place the subject in a specific spot that will achieve the balance that's most appealing. But way before the camera was ever thought of, the rule of proportion has always been a guideline for all artists in all varieties of all media, dating as far back as the early Egyptian Empire. As a photographer, though, has its general rule of thirds, the early Egyptian artists had their own rule, known as the canon of proportions. This was a mandatory requirement for all Egyptian artists. The rule was they had to use a grid system measuring 18 units from the bottom of their feet to their headline, 19 that would go above the top of their skull. This was known as the 1819 grid system, corresponding to the Old Kingdom guidelines. In this system, there is a 1118 point, which was to reach the horizontal point of the king's chamber, also known as the heir shaft, or commonly known as the belly button. These guidelines began in the 3rd dynasty and were consistently used in the 5th and 6th dynasties. Now, even though this rule did not last very far after the Egyptian dynasty, this idea and concept of this guideline was an inspiration for all future artists, especially for those of the Greek and Roman times. This known piece was believed to be sculpted in the late 2nd century by Laocoon and his sons. Believed to be a Roman copy of a Hellenistic original from 200 BC, sculpted from 3 artists, is the moment of Trojan priest Laocoon and his 2 sons being attacked by giant snakes on an altar. This death was believed to be caused by Poseidon, who sent these snakes to end his life after he had warned his fellow Trojans that the Greek horse was a trap. This piece represents physical struggle and anguish for the human death. This piece, however, with the symmetry it shows, has a well-rounded balance that is appealing to the eye, the father being in the middle with the boys on opposite sides of the father, giving a good pyramid formation. Proportion-wise, this piece represents the rule of thirds commonly known today, with each person being a guide to a third of the piece. Horizontally, the same can be said for the parallel of the boys' heads as a top guide, and the serpent being parallel to the bottom guide. These proportions were not done by accident, and even though there were no records for the reasoning of the pose, this piece represents perfect balance for the common eye, and gives a great example of how perfect balance can make an art piece just that much more significant. For some, photography is not just an art, it's a way of life. Photographers like to show the world for what it really is, or for the way we would like the world to be. So please continue to support your local artists, and please support the Professional Photographers Association of America.
Welcome back. Kenny, you have control of the board.
I'll take designing the market for 400.
Graphic designers often use abstracted letters when designing logos. These logos are meant to reflect the marketing objectives, products, services, or ideals that the company or individual offers, not necessarily to be read in a traditional sense. Symbols used in logo design are also used to show power and prestige. The XPI page from this book, created in the medieval time period and found in Iona, Scotland, is an example of these elements as they relate to graphic design and marketing. Jennifer,
What is the Book of Kells?
That is correct.
I'll take Don't Take It Outside for 600, please, Alex.
Daily double.
I'll wager 400, please.
Okay, here is the clue for you. This element, found in Ezekiel's infamous amphora painting entitled Achilles and Ajax Playing Dice, exemplifies this piece in relation to the field of interior design.
What is scale? Exekias' vase is unique because of the way the central image is situated. It is scaled so as to maximize the shape of the vase and the space available without dominating the vase's natural shape. Interior designers use the same principles. One chooses a couch that is scaled to correctly match the size of the living room, or a wall art piece that is scaled large enough to be visually interesting, but small enough to fit the given space without taking away from other elements in the room.
Scale, yes, that's it. Way to go. You're in the lead with 1,000 and you get to take a guess.
I'll take Crime and Punishment for 600, please, Alex.
The Abu Simbel statues from the New Kingdom time period in Aswan, Egypt, are meant to serve as this, which relates them to the field of criminal justice.
That was easy.
What is protection? The statues are supposed to protect the pharaoh from the afterlife from unwanted evil spirits. The reason why these statues relate to the field of criminal justice is because we protect innocent civilians from criminals that are trying to harm society.
Protection, that is correct.
I'll take Don't Take It Outside for 800.
The Maya architectural pyramid El Castillo from Chichen Itza, Mexico, is an example of this interior design principle. Jennifer.
What is focal point? A focal point is where all the lines in a visual field converge as one central point. In interior design, it's important to have this central focal point as a means of organization in order to establish symmetry. In Maya culture, the El Castillo is considered an axis mundi, which is a concept that refers to the organization of cities and essentially means the center of the world. From a distance, the El Castillo is the first structure that the eye is drawn to because of its size and the way it reflects the landscape around it. The focal point of the city, just as a fireplace might be the focal point of a room.
Correct.
I'll take elementary for 400, please, Alex.
The Mawiya minaret in Samarra, Iraq, is related to the elementary education in this way. Carrie.
The Mawiya minaret is from the Islamic time period, a time in which the Islamic world was encouraging creativity and wonder through their art and architecture. This is why the minaret imitates the shell of a snail. As a teacher, it is highly important to promote and encourage creativity amongst all students. Many schools today are diminishing students' creativity, only setting them up for failure in their life after school.
That is correct. But you did not form it in the phrase of the question, taking you down to 400. Jennifer, back to you.
I'll take elementary for 800, please, Alex.
Many teachers will use books to create lesson plans and curriculums and to make the classroom a fun and positive learning environment, similar to these manuscripts made in Vienna in the late antiquity time period. Carrie again.
What is the Vienna Genesis illuminated manuscript? In the ancient world, people used illuminated manuscripts as illustrated books for those who couldn't read. They were made of animal skin, and the image would give light to the text. These pieces of artwork are comparative to textbooks and elementary picture books because they use text and pictures to explain concepts, ideas, stories to those who can't or are still learning to read.
The Vienna Genesis illuminated manuscript. That is correct. That takes you to 1,200 and to this commercial break. Marketing is the process of communicating the value of a product or service to its customers for the purpose of selling that product or service. So our goal here at ASF Marketing and Graphic Design is to make you look good. Historically speaking, it's what we do. Take the north wall of the choir and apse of San Vital in Ravenna, Italy. Emperor Justinian is shown haloed on the right-hand side of Christ, wearing a purple robe and holding a golden paten representing the body of Christ. The specific marketing done in this piece, the color of his robe, and the fact that the paten he carries physically puts him in the front, informs the viewer that he is God's earthly representative. And marketing can be done globally. With the internet, your services can be marketed worldwide. After all, Justinian was likely never in Ravenna during the early Byzantine time period, or any time period. But the marketing done with this piece clearly establishes him as the proprietor of this royal church and the ruler of the Western Empire. And Otto III, he was a marketing genius. Not only did he artistically claim rulership of the Ottonian Empire during the medieval time period, but in Otto III Enthroned, which is a page from the Gospel book of Otto III from Reichenau, Germany, He declares his universal authority as he sits enthroned, holding the scepter and the cross-inscribed orb. Bold propaganda, right, gang? But hey, when you work in advertising, you use images, colors, and designs to evoke an emotional response from the viewer in order to sell the product, service, or idea. So follow in the footsteps of the rulers of the past and let us use our graphic design and marketing experience to make you look good. Welcome back. We have Carrie and Kenny both at 1200 and Jennifer in the lead with 1800. Carrie, you are getting us back into the game.
I'll take elementary, my dear Watson, for 1,000.
Finishing up the category. In the painting, Ty watching a hippopotamus hunt located in Saqqara, Egypt, and from the Egyptian Old Kingdom. Ty is specifically doing this, which relates this image to elementary education.
Carrie, what is overseeing his people hunt? Based on hierarchy of scale, his size symbolizes high rank among the Egyptians, similar to a teacher's rank over her students. T's skills required for him to be a leader are similar to a teacher's. They must be able to give instructions, supervise, facilitate, and manage all those under them. On a side note, this artwork is a metaphor for triumph over evil, which is something all children learn throughout their life and school.
Correct, and you take the lead.
I'll take designing the market for 600, please.
A graphic designer often has to work with words and images in order to tell a story or provide information. This painted papyrus scroll from the New Kingdom in Thebes, Egypt, contains spells and prayers as well as images, laid out in a very deliberate manner, just as graphic designers are asked to do today. Jennifer.
What is the Nibelungen hunting fowl?
No. Anyone else? The correct answer is Last Judgment of Hunifer. Carrie, we're going somewhere else.
I'll take Crime and Punishment for 800.
The Temple of Hera I in Paestum, Italy, from the Archaic time period, and the Parthenon from the Greek classical period are related to each other by this profession.
That was it.
Kenny?
What is criminal justice? When the Greeks decided to switch from the Doric order to the Ionic order, it was because they found many flaws in their artwork. Hera I had no central entrance and lacked symmetry. The Parthenon was built later to correct and perfect these issues, and others found in many earlier architectural pieces. For people in the criminal justice field, we often find flaws with previous laws and ways of maintaining order, so we are always working to correct them.
Yes, with a minute to go.
I'll finish up Crime and Punishment for 1,000.
This piece shows how the Greeks strived for perfection in their artwork, just as the people in criminal justice strive for perfection in their society through the implementation or enforcement of law.
That was easy.
Kenny?
The Riace warrior in Riace, Italy, done during the Greek classical period.
Beep, beep, beep. Correct. We have Jennifer at 1,200, moving up nicely, Carrie at 2,200, and Kenny now in the lead with 3,000. And here is the final Jeopardy category. Stars and Stripes. Think about it, make your wagers, and we'll be back in a moment.
Every day is a gift, which is why we know today as the present. We all celebrate our gifts in different ways, and we have use of different means to record each and every day. One favored way, photography. We each use our handheld phones or cameras to record, or we hire a professional photographer to record the events for us.
My name is Brian Angers, and I am a professional photographer.
When it comes to creating moments, anywhere from snapping the sunset touching the ocean to capturing your moment of holy matrimony, capturing the perfect moment is my goal. With knowledge comes ideas, and using the concepts and ideas of past artists throughout history is key to knowing how to capture the greatest moments. Let's look back to the Akkadian Empire around 2300 BC. A historical place known as the Victory Stele of Naram Sin was created at the center of the sun god cult in Scipio to celebrate Naram Sin's victory over the Lullaby Mountain people. Naram Sin was the fourth king of the Semite dynasty in the Akkadian Empire and ruled at the empire's height. The hierarchy of the scale shows Naram Sin is the most important figure in the piece. Even though there is no record of who the artist was, he was capable of establishing a visual idea and message of how the battle was and who was the victor at the end. An artist, especially a photographer, has to be able to create a scene that resembles the accuracy of the battle by the words of the victor. Creating a scene like this sends the strongest message to those who observe it, especially from today's view. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but how many words is an emotional statue worth? Let us look back at the time of the Greeks for this next piece. The seated boxer, designed of bronze around 330 BC, was made to tell the story of a worn-out boxer after battle. It is said that the boxer is Theogenes, one of the greatest athletes and Olympians of ancient Greece, but by speculation, it is just a theory. Just look at the elements of this beaten man: broken nose, scratches across his face, torn leather wraps, slouched posture, and especially of all, a face of 1,000 thoughts. Worn down and beaten gives a powerful message of being human and how even the strongest of warriors are still human. The artist of this piece was never identified as well, but this piece will always be known for its idea of being worth more than 1,000 words. Artists today think of the ideas used of previous artists to obtain an original idea and show how much a moment can last for generations to come. Creating great moments with proper thought can be achieved and is the only goal I look to achieve. So the next time you wonder for what photographer you wish to hire for your next graduation ceremony, or even record your next social event, remember these words. Look for Brian Andrews Photographics, creating memorable moments.
Welcome back. Stars and Stripes is the category, and here is the clue. The prayer hall at the Mosque of Siloam II in Cordoba, Spain, has a series of arches painted with red stripes that draw the eye through space. This is an example of what interior design concept? Carrie will come to you first. You moved up nicely in Double Jeopardy. You had 2,200 for this final. And did you come up with the correct response? You wrote down color. Sorry, that is not the one we're looking for. What did you risk? $19.99. Interesting. And that'll leave you with $201. Let's go to Jennifer now. She came into Final Jeopardy in third place with 1,200, and she picked...
What is rhythm? In any room, a pattern, color, or texture that is repeated throughout the space makes the room feel cohesive and tied together visually, can even make the room feel bigger. The prayer hall at Cordoba is a perfect example of this concept because of the red stripes that are repeated not just throughout the prayer hall, but throughout the rest of the mosque as well.
That is the correct response. Yes, indeed. You're happy about that. And you'll be happier if you risked a lot, which you did, 1,100, putting you in second place with 2,300 and taking us to Kenny, who does not look happy. He picked what is running of the bulls. Not exactly, Kenny. You lose 3,000 and finish in third place today, which means that Jennifer is our new Jeopardy champion. Bye tomorrow. So long, everybody.
Today's episode of Jeopardy has been brought to you by ASF Marketing and Graphic Design, Professional Photographer Association of America, and Brian Andrews Photographics.